This is video 15 of Advaita Vedanta, non-dual monism as taught by Sri Ramana Maharishi. We will look at the biblical statement, I am that I am. I am that I am. What does it mean? It looks to be a strange English sentence. When I first read it, I didn't understand. About 3 years ago, when I first read it, I am that I am, full stop. What does it mean? This has got the crux of all spirituality. Sri Bhagavan often made a reference to this statement and one more statement, be still and know that I am God. And Bhagavan said the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible are the same in essence. This I am that I am. What does it mean? Little confusing. Now, there was one Nisargadatta Maharaj, a Brahmagyani, who was, I think, a contemporary of Sri Bhagavan, who lived in Mumbai. And when he explained it, I understood. You know what he did? He said, he put the last I am in capital letters. This is what he did, and I understood. I am that I amness. Okay? That sense of existing, that sense of just being. I'll give you another example. My name is Sentivel. If I say I am Sentivel, wrong. I am, full stop. Right, that is spirituality. It denotes I am that existence. That is the meaning of I am that I am. I am that existence, consciousness, bliss. So, isness, here it relates to the Sat aspect, the existence aspect of Sat Chit Ananda. I had already said, when you are picking up one end of the stick, you are also picking up the other end of the stick. So when you utter the word Sat, you are implying the existence of consciousness as well as bliss. If you utter consciousness, you are also uttering within your mind existence and bliss. So I am that I am, which means a state in which the thought does not arise at all. I just am. How will you be if what is called your mind, if it were to be just deleted? Give a delete command, the entire memory is deleted. What condition will we be in? That is what is I am that I am. Or transfer all your knowledge, all your memory, including I am this body thought. Everything, all the memory that accumulated in this lifetime, previous lifetimes, everything plus the ego I thought, everything is transferred to this CD and kept aside. What will you be left with? What will I be left with? That is existence, Sat. I am that I amness, that stillness. Bhagavan speaks of a state in which the I does not arise at all. In one of the songs in the 40 verses on reality, he says, a state in which the I thought does not arise at all. A state in which we are just ourselves, our true nature. And this results only when we seek the source of the I thought. Who am I? I am this individual. Who is saying? A thought is saying. What is that thought? That is the I thought. And whence is it? Which is the birthplace of that I thought? This is the way to inquire. Or what is it that is appearing as this I thought? Something else is appearing as this something. What is that something else? And this is the mechanism of inquiry. See, this I am that I am, if understood, we will automatically take up sadhana, practice. Why? In order to make the mind subside. When the thoughts cease completely, when we are in a state where the thought does not arise at all, that is the state of realization. Sri Bhagavan said, just as you find it now difficult not to entertain thoughts, a jnani finds it difficult to entertain thoughts. So what is the enemy to realization? This ego, this ahankara, this I thought plus memory. The mechanism, I don't know who designed it. It is designed in such a way that thoughts arise and they throw a veil. See, you cannot see my face, the veil. The same way the veil is removed, we see reality, truth. This having been understood, we should automatically proceed towards sadhana, vicharam. If one finds vicharam difficult at the outset, one can take up all preliminary practices, as we discussed earlier, the selfless action path, social service, or the path of devotional worship, offering prayers to your chosen God, or the path of yoga, Patanjali Yoga, which teaches pranayama, control of the breath, breathing in, breathing, holding it, and then breathing out slowly. This has to be learned from a competent master. Or observation of the breath, the simplest method. Just keep observing your breath. When the breath goes in and comes out, you can count it as 1. This way you can go on counting. 1, 2, 3. This definitely leads to the subsidence of the mind, because the birthplace of the breath and the birthplace of the mind, thoughts, are the same. So, when the mind subsides, the breath subsides. When the breath subsides, the mind subsides too. And when that subsidence happens, when the mind becomes one-pointed through any of these 4 methods or a combination of all these methods, when the mind becomes one-pointed, it loses itself. It goes and merges into the source from which it originates. And as we saw, the origin of the ego is nothing but the self, the Atman, Brahman, whatever it is. See here, in the Advaita language, they all mean the same. The individual self, we call it soul, and sometimes we call it the self, and it goes and merges, settles down in the heart. Heart is nothing but the source of all thought. Bhagavan describes it as the source of all, the birthplace of all thought, or the I thought itself. So let us not bother too much about language. Self-realization means realizing I am that vast, infinite, unborn, undying, immortal Brahman. Existence, consciousness, bliss. So I am that I am, full stop. No comma, no colon. We cannot extend the statement. In Sanskrit language, there is what is called Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. I think in the Bible, this is a Mahavakya. It's a great sentence, compressed sentence, which reveals the truth. So, the point is, in order to be I am that I am, we need to resort to sadhana, practice. Enormous amount of stress has been placed by Sri Bhagavan on practice. Effort is necessary up to the state of realization. When we put in efforts, when the mind subsides, we get into what is called samadhi, an absorbed state. Just as the iron files are absorbed, attracted by a piece of magnet, so would we, our mind would be attracted by the self when we go close to it, says Sri Bhagavan. So that is the state of samadhi, where there is no experience of the I thought at all. It is only after the birth of the I thought that we experience the body, the world, the senses, etc. So when the I thought itself merges into the self, there is no experience of the body at all. And if we continue to be in samadhi, as Bhagavan said, samadhi must be gained and it must be practiced until sahaja samadhi results, natural samadhi results. Our very natural state, Bhagavan would say, is realization. And there he says there is a fixed state, there is a stationary state. The Atma does not move at all, the self does not move, but the world moves in it, he would say. The self is fixed, constant, it does not move. The I thought moves in it, the world moves in it. Where is the world? In the I thought only. When the I thought itself is not there, where is the question of the existence of the world or the universe? So in that fixed state, he says, once you reach there, you will get fixed. And once fixed, fixed forever. And in that state, he says, you will just be a witness, an observer of the rise and fall of this I thought. See, Sri Bhagavan says there is no objective existence of the world or the universe at all. It is after the birth of the I thought that the mind projects a world and withdraws it, like how a spider does it. It might be difficult to digest at this stage, and we should remember what Sri Bhagavan said. He said, there are certain things which you cannot understand until you realize your true nature. So let us be patient, let us not be judgmental. And another point is that through mind we are not going to create realization. Through mind we are not going to manufacture realization. It is not something made to order. Of course, mind is involved. When we do sadhana through the mind only. But that is not something, it is not a mental state. It is not a psychological state. It is a transcendent state where the mind has subsided or it has been killed. Even Bhagavan uses such words. Annihilation of ego. When the ego has been annihilated completely, he says Atma shines. It's a question of willingness. We cannot delude ourselves into thinking that through mind, through the effort of the mind, we will create something and that will be called realization. No. Total abandonment of vasanas, lock, stock and barrel has to be done. It's a question of willingness. It is appreciation of the truth that fundamentally we are not this body mind, and we need to have that curiosity, inquisitiveness, that fire in the belly to find our true nature. What is called mumukshutvam in Sanskrit language, intense desire for liberation. What is this cycle of birth and death? Why should we be trapped? Let me find out my true nature. What has to be done? We need to pay a price. Sadhana, vicharam, enquiry, atma vicharam, self-enquiry. And finally we will arrive at I am that I am. I am minus I thought. That's what it says. I am that I am. I just exist. I is the new sentence I am using within quotes is I is pure existence, stillness. There is no movement at all. That is I am that I am. So let us do sadhana.